Thank you, Dave. The implications of fracking on our soil and water are irreversible, as we have heard. Lori McConville is an environmental activist from McHenry County, Illinois, which is up in the northeast corner of our state. Her family owns land within the Marcellus Shale deposit that we saw on the film in Pennsylvania that is surrounded by fracking wells. Welcome, Lori.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. I come your way from the Sierra Club. I was at the Star Drop Rally a couple weeks ago, and I had Dawn here. We got talking, so I said, oh, guess what? My family lives in northeast Pennsylvania, and I have something to say about the fracking industry and what it's done to our land. So my mother is 85 years old. She lives in Bradford County, Pennsylvania, and there are about 2,000 wells just in that county alone, and she sits pretty much in the middle of that. There are 9,000 wells in the state of Pennsylvania, so, and I'm sure you've seen some pictures how concentrated that is. My father bought 50 acres of land in 1966, and it was a haven for him, and he wanted to go there to live off the land, and he did so very well. In fact, I just want to share one quick personal story with you. One Thanksgiving when we sat down together, our families, on that table, everything that was served was from that land. Everything except the wheat that was in the bread that he baked with the eggs that his chickens laid. It was a wonderful childhood memory and a very helpful memory. These are the values. These are the values that my father passed on to me, and I want to pass on as well to my children. I want to share with you some of the changes in the community that my parents lived in, and the environmental and the community changes. This fracking industry came into town well before anyone even knew what it was. And they were swooned, the people that lived there. It was an industrial invasion. These landowners were groomed with financial promises and safety galore. No problems whatsoever, you're going to get lots of money, don't worry about it, we've got it all under control, just like you've heard today. They also made sure that the laws and the regulations wouldn't be part of the problem. They got them out of the way quickly, so they didn't have to deal with them. Laws that demand protection on our natural resources, our water, and our land. These industries didn't want them to be a barrier to the money that they were going to make. Now what's happened, it took maybe a decade, 15 years, and all of a sudden, here comes the machinery. And the people are not in control of their community. The industry is. The man next to my family's farm, when the truck started to come, he actually drove up to the road to tell us what was happening, that he had leased his property for a fracturing well, a drill. He grabbed me and cried and apologized to me and asked me to send that on to my father. His daughter was an environmental engineer and could not get them out of the lease because they didn't understand what they signed at the time. They did when the truck started pulling up and they couldn't get out of their lease. Some other consequences that come along with this are small towns, rural towns that once had their own identity no longer do. Now there's trucks coming through, and it's an industrial throughway for them. The skilled labor that's coming in is coming from out of state, Oklahoma, Texas. The children are not getting benefits from education. They're not learning. They're getting the unskilled work. And as a result, some of the lower income people that are living in these communities, their housing is being taken up. They're being pushed out by high rents by the people that are coming in for this industry. So some folks that just don't have the means, they are going down without places to live. And then of course there's the water issue, which is most frightening for us, because we don't really know what's going to happen when this water flows through our community. This is an intense industry that cannot be stopped in Pennsylvania. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here today, because if I can see a little window to stop it somewhere else, it's important to me that it happens. It's important to me for my father that this gets done, and I'm very respectful to see this great crowd here and to be here with you today. Thank you very, very much. And to be in a church, wow. I want you to know that you can prevent this, the lawmakers in your community. If you persuade them, you stand up, you can prevent this. Do it now before you're swooned any further by this industry. Keep control of your community by doing that and protect what's really important, human health. Respect the land, air, and the water. For me, this is about a shift in values, and I wasn't sure. I'm so glad to hear that today, because for me, what it is we've got to shift those values, and we do it one person at a time, one gathering, one small group at a time, and just keep building and building it. And that's why I'm here today. Thank you so very much. I have a few slides to show you to give you a picture of our farm and our lake.